Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Stankweasel here with your Phasmophobia news update. Just a quick shout out to everybody who's been commenting down below, the fantastic discussions we've been having, questions about game mechanics and kind of the path of where the game's going and where we're seeing it go as a community. Really appreciate all of the interaction, engagement, and support. So don't forget to like and subscribe. So today, Friday, December 18th, 2020, there's been a big update to the beta branch, and I'll leave the clip of how to enable the beta branch at the end so that you can make sure you're on the latest features that are in this early access game as soon as possible. But this is the big optimization one. Today, the update dropped where school and asylum, specifically the large maps, the only large maps that we have thus far by categorization, despite how big the prison can feel when you're all alone in cell block B, they have been super optimized. The load times are absolutely ridiculously fast now, where we used to be stuck on 90%, or we'd be hanging out in the van truck thing waiting for random fourth person to join, and all of a sudden they pop in, everything kind of starts to trickle in, the board slowly pop. It is crazy fast now. It's almost like it's a real game. I'll go ahead and show you guys how fast it is for me on a medium. I've got the game loaded on a platter drive. I'm not using my SSD just for this test. I'm not using my M2 drive for this test. This is just a platter hard drive, just my storage drive. I copied the game over just to see how fast this actually is. Roll it. Wasn't that crazy? In addition to the optimizations to the level and the map kind of assets and entities that are in the game now, additionally, the lighting was updated. So you'll notice that when you're looking around with your flashlight or using any of the environment lighting, it's a lot cleaner and a lot smoother. It's not as janky and edgy, and the lights don't look super baked anymore. They look kind of more natural. So props to that. Big optimizations there visually and performance-wise. So I had a question in the comments earlier today on last week's video from the last series of updates we had, kind of the rolling hot fixes last week, about one, welcome back to all the players who have kind of come back from a hiatus or are now joining the game. It's been super pleasant to see a handful of new players and, you know, the single digit hunters joining lobbies, but also about the aggression of ghosts and being able to be killed through walls. So you'll remember, if you've seen the videos, a couple of patches ago, there was a fix to ghosts incorrectly killing people, the incorrect death mechanic where you would still be alive when you were dead, and then conversely, ghosts passing through objects inadvertently. Well, the one thing that's still not fixed, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, is the player still passes through things. So even though you're in a hallway closet or you're in a locker, if you're pressed up against the door, just like when we're hanging out in the lobby, you'll know that your player model still protrudes and clips through things. If you are clipping through something, you do have the opportunity to still trigger the ghost attack, therefore rendering yourself attackable and killable. So a couple of tips just for how to avoid that is, you know, if you're going to press yourself into something, make sure it's a thick exterior wall. Make sure it is up against an object that does not have an adjacent hallway or something that you're sticking through. So specifically, like, don't press yourself against the door. Go to the outside edge of a classroom and press yourself against a window if you feel the need to do so. Conversely, in VR, I usually just put my hands up because it makes your model look like a little snake noodle thing. Or you can cross your arms and it kind of twists your character around in a very cryptic fashion, but it makes your model smaller. And then when I'm playing on PC, again, to nobody's surprise, turn off your equipment or throw your flashlight down so that you can watch the blinky and know when the hunt is over. But conversely, look straight down or look straight up when pressed against a wall, not particularly in a corner, because those adjacent edges of the geometry can still have you protrude through. But those are a couple of tips on how to kind of avoid the more aggressive logic and pathing and navigation that we've seen be implemented lately in some of the updates, with the ghosts getting smarter, the hunts getting a little bit crazier, and intermediate somehow being the scariest thing in the game, where professional is more like an action game, amateur is more like hide and seek, and then intermediate feels like you're actually going to die. But yeah, so today's update was really the big optimization for the large maps, and if you do not have the beta branch enabled and you're missing out on all of the latest changes, fixes, adjustments, new features, new maps as they come available, here's how to get that enabled. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is open up your Steam client, assuming you're using Steam since it's a Steam distributed game, and you want to locate Phasmophobia in your library list. Once you've located Phasmophobia, you want to right-click on the game and go down to Properties. Once you're in the Properties tab, you'll see a few different tabs that pop up in this little window, and we're going to want to go over to Betas. By default, the Select the Beta you would like to opt in for option is set to None. What you'll want to do is, using this drop-down, go to Beta Unstable Build. Upon doing this, you can select Close, and what this will do is, as you'll notice on the side now, it will say Phasmophobia Beta. This will give you the option to play any in-test content that you may have noticed that will be updated on their Twitter or Trello prior to a functional full production release. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, I appreciate all of the early support. Happiest of holidays and safe holidays to everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate all of the early support here. I'm going to keep saying that because every one of you matter and you all make my day. Every time I see a comment, every time I see some feedback, when you guys have questions, it means the world to me. Happy holidays, guys. Stank out.